AdventHealth launches Hospital at Home program in the United States. Faith FM radio ministry reveals strategy to connect listeners with local churches. Hope Still Exists evangelistic caravan tours central Peru, leading to over 700 baptisms. ADRA continues relief efforts for thousands affected by flooding in Spain. Adventists in Cambodia connect with communities through van ministry. These and other inspiring stories now on ANN. Healthcare is evolving at AdventHealth with the launch of its innovative Hospital at Home program. This initiative allows eligible patients to receive hospital-level care from the comfort of their own homes. With advanced technology, 24/7 monitoring, and personalized care, the program is transforming how patients recover and heal. Let's take a closer look at how AdventHealth is bringing whole-person care beyond the hospital walls.
AdventHealth Hospital at Home is literally bringing the hospitalization of patients to the comfort of their own home.
Hi!
There is a lot of research that shows that patients being in their natural environment, surrounded by their families, their friends, and their personal belongings, that it increases the chances of healing.
Thank you.
We feel like it'll benefit our community because this is what the community wants. All of our primary care physicians, they want their patients to be at home. They know that's the best environment for patients to recover from any kind of illness.
So you want me to hit that?
Yes. What's innovative is the technology that we have that's bridging the connection to the patient in the home and to their providers 24/7.
Your blood pressure looks great, so I will call you this evening to perform a check-in call.
All right, well, thank you very much.
We're going to be able to deliver excellent care that they need in the place they want to be, their home.
We're going to check your oxygen level, okay?
Okay.
Of course, we're not going to do ICU patients at home, but for the most part, most conditions we can treat at home.
Ultimately, our goal is to enhance the quality of a patient's life and have them adapt to either a new diagnosis or adapt better to a chronic diagnosis.
We treat the whole person, not just the body, but the mind and the spirit. And people, when they're at home, that is feeding them and making them feel whole.
AdventHealth remains dedicated to providing safe and compassionate care, helping patients recover comfortably at home. During a global gathering of Hope Channel leaders in Thailand, David Neal, Communication Director for the Trans-European region of the Adventist Church, interviews Robbie Bergen, Content Manager for Faith FM, Australia's Adventist radio station. Bergen reveals an innovative strategy to connect non-Adventist listeners with local churches. Hundreds of Adventist volunteers representing the radio station in their communities across Australia.
How do you then or connect with them when they connect with you?
Yeah, good question. So one of our other guiding principles, one of our 6 commandments, is that we don't create content unless there is an intentional call to action. But we found texting is the most popular one. So we'll give a unique code word for this conversation we're having. They'll pick up their phone, they'll text just the code word. Then we've got a really simple SMS bot or a texting bot that will go, we see you're wanting to claim this offer, can we get your name, can we get your address? Once we've got that information, our system that we've got will then go across to what we call an ambassador service that we developed. The ambassador service is made up of about 600 Australians who are committed missional Seventh-day Adventists, who have said, I want to be a representative of the product, Faith FM, in my community. So we've onboarded them previously. They've done a short induction sort of course. And then when we get this listener, we put it into our ambassador service. And the ambassador service is basically like Uber. So we design it with the same idea as Uber. We've got all our ambassadors are our drivers. Our contact is the one that wants the ride. And we're Uber. We're going to connect the two. So we take the information, we throw it at our service, and our service goes, there's 5 people geographically within 5 kilometers or miles or whatever in the area of this listener. So it will send out a text message to all those ambassadors and say, hey, there's an opportunity in your area. Are you interested in taking this resource and delivering it to this person on behalf of Faith FM? The first person to go yes gets the job.
And that's getting local church members involved.
That's exactly right.
Rather than simply relying on the pastor.
That's exactly right. All of our ambassadors, I shouldn't say that, probably about 500 of our 600 are local church members. Sure. About 100 of them are pastors. But we found that involving members is way better investment. First of all, they're less busy than the pastor. Second, they have lived there longer, and they will live there longer after the pastor moves. And so the relationship built with an ambassador can transcend the pastor's tenure. Yeah. So it's a better investment, way better investment long term.
This approach is transforming evangelism through radio waves. The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, launched emergency operations in Spain after torrential rains devastated municipalities, primarily in Valencia last year.
The flooding impacted over 450,000 people, causing extensive damage to infrastructure and homes. ADRA's response teams, in collaboration with local authorities, the Adventist Church, and volunteers, are executing a comprehensive relief strategy. Key efforts include clearing streets, distributing essential supplies, and aiding in the recovery of affected communities. However, challenges persist as some areas remain without food, clean water, hygiene supplies, electricity, or transportation. Many residents are also grappling with the psychological impact of the disaster. Samir Khalil, ADRA International's emergency response representative, said, "We are grateful for the support of donors and volunteers. Please pray for these communities as they work to rebuild their lives."
With donor support, ADRA continues to provide critical aid and ensure long-term recovery as part of its mission to help millions worldwide rebuild and restore hope after crises. You can also support this and other projects by visiting adra.org. The Breath of Life Ministry, a pioneer in Christian programming for the African American community, celebrated 50 years of impact through media, music, and evangelism. On a special night at Oakwood University in Alabama, United States, past and present leaders gathered to honor 5 decades of life transformation.
The Breath of Life Gala Night was a celebration of gratitude to God for 50 years of ministry. The event brought together leaders from various generations, including former directors and the current director, DeBlair Snell. The ministry was born in 1974, amid the social turbulence of the 1960s, when Walter Arties, a talented musician and Adventist pastor, dreamed of creating uplifting Christian programming for the Black community. Since then, Breath of Life has been a powerful voice, resulting in tens of thousands of baptisms and the founding of more than 17 churches worldwide.
Each speaker brought their own passion, their own temperament, their own perspective, and I think God customized the gifts to be able to meet the needs that exist in the body of Christ and in the larger culture as well.
The Gala Night was marked by musical performances that brought to memory the history of the Breath of Life Quartet and featured the participation of Take 6, winner of 10 Grammy Awards. The members started in college singing Breath of Life songs.
It gave us a sound, it gave us an identity, it gave us a sense of pride, and so we're just stepping into that legacy.
Former director Carlton P. Bird delivered an inspiring message, reminding everyone that Breath of Life, at its core, is evangelism. Pastor Alexander Bryant, president of the North American Division and vice president of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, announced a donation of $50,000 to support the ministry's future.
We want to continue that legacy of evangelism. In 2025, we're going to be joining all of the churches in North America in the Pentecost 2025 emphasis.
Snell, the group's director, shared ambitious plans for 2025, confirming participation in the Pentecost 2025 initiative and including leadership training and the premiere of an animated children's program. After 50 years of praise, Breath of Life remains faithful to its mission, adapting to changing times while maintaining the central message of hope and transformation through the gospel. As the current director emphasized, the goal is for Breath of Life to become the center of spiritual life for the African American community, offering relevant content on health, work, spirituality, and relationships.
Congratulations on the ministry. 5 decades of bringing the message of salvation and renewing hope in the soon return of Jesus. As we move into a new chapter, the segment A Special Message from Pastor Ted Wilson features the General Conference President reflecting on God's faithfulness. He shares highlights of what has been achieved through global total member involvement.
Greetings, friends. As the new year is just underway, I would like to share with you a thoughtful message from the pen of Ellen White. She writes, "The old year with its burden of record has passed into eternity, and the new year has begun. Let us gather up the treasures of the past year, our remembrances of God's goodness and mercy, and carry them with us into the new year. Let us brighten the future by the thought of past blessings." As you think of the past year, what blessings of God's goodness and mercy come to your mind? Has He been close to you? Have you been close to Him? In these video messages during the past 3 months, we have been focusing on global total member involvement and have seen how important individual prayer and outreach are in successful soul winning, including during large evangelistic events such as the Papua New Guinea event in 2024. As we have now turned the page into a new year, global total member involvement will continue to be a high priority for everyone, everywhere, reaching someone with Jesus, with the full gospel, including the very important 3 angels' messages that God has entrusted to us for this very time. And to delve more deeply into these important messages found in Revelation 14, as well as seeing how God has led His people down through the centuries of the Christian era, we spent much of last year going through several chapters of the amazing book, The Great Controversy. If you would like to review these messages, they are available at the link shown at the bottom of the screen.
This and other weekly messages from Pastor Ted Wilson can be viewed and shared on the Seventh-day Adventist Church's official YouTube page. The evangelistic caravan Hope still exists towards several Peruvian cities, concluding in Pichinaki, featuring international evangelist Pastor Alejandro Bullion. Organized by the Central Peru mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, over 700 people were baptized and are now part of the global Adventist family.
You can try whatever you want with your own strength. You will never achieve anything. You need Jesus Christ, and you are precious to Him. You are worth more than you imagine. He loves you. He is looking at your past. He only sees your today and what you are going to do from today on. That's why we say, "Come, Jesus Christ." I ask that you give yourself to Jesus today. The Bible says today is the day of good news. Today is the day of salvation.
What a great blessing to see lives transformed and families renewed by faith. With the slogan, "Church Goes to School," the Seventh-day Adventist Church in German-speaking Switzerland has launched a new video that highlights the school concept of Christian values combined with holistic pedagogy. The 5-minute clip features teachers from 2 Adventist schools in the region, emphasizing their role in the global Adventist education network.
I am Matthias, and I think it's just great that we have a space for personal encounters, where the children are not just learners, but truly personalities who are recognized. Every morning, we have devotional topics together, where the children consciously experience what the Christian values are. But I think it's even more significant that all the teachers embody and live the Christian values, even without always stating it directly.
I am Nina, and I like being at this school, when you can simply see how much every single student cares. I believe the difficulty nowadays with children is that through social media so much is prescribed about how one should be, that creativity is a bit lost, as well as the university. And in the small classes, we can guide them much better, because we can work together with them to figure out who they are and what they can do.
My name is Lucas. I am at this school where I would like to make a difference for each individual student so that they realize they are accepted and loved. I can read a beautiful Bible verse as much as I want. If I don't live by it myself, they will think he doesn't even live what he preaches. So I am not a dad yet, but I can imagine that parents want to see their children and meet them where they are. Be the change you want to see. That is one of my life mottos. That's why I also want to personally commit myself to the school again.
I am Miriam, and I have been working at the school for a year and a half, and it is really cool. Yes, really. I can respond individually to the children. If there is any kind of conflict or something, I try to observe and help. I simply take my time, and I know I am allowed to take that time. Many come to school with a smile and say, "Oh yeah, back to school." And when I then conclude the day and say, "So, school is over? Now I have to go home," they say, "Oh no, now I have to go home again." So they love it.
We have no perfect students in our school, but we try to look together at what we can do. And that's where Christian values come into play. You notice, how do I deal with them? Do I have patience? Can I stick with it? Am I honest? Am I also willing to forgive a mistake sometimes? It is a school where you can bring in the things that fascinate you. If we have the idea that we want to implement something new, then we can decide on it together, and then we just do it.
I am Russ, and I particularly enjoy working at this school because I can engage with the students in a holistic way. I can work with them in the garden, show them around in the fairy tale, sing, knead dough, and learn German. We try to keep screen time low, at least until the end of 6th grade. The reality is that today, children rarely take on more responsibility, and the children feel that. Basically, I can do whatever I want. There is always someone there to catch me. There is always someone who tidies up behind me and bends the grave. And when you then ask back, "What do you think? How could it be done?" they start to think. That is part of our concept. We have the opportunity to wait for the children until they understand it. I am able to handle important things well. What is very exciting is that you can work with small groups and that you always step back and think, okay, and that is actually really important in life.
I believe the strength of our teaching team is that all the people who work here do so very consciously. They have chosen to work in the school out of conviction.
The Adventist education system, established in 1858, is now the largest Protestant education network, with over 2 million students in 9,800 schools across nearly 150 countries. Let's head to Southeast Asia. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Cambodia has launched an innovative van ministry to connect with local communities. This initiative enables members to share Christ's love in a personal and approachable way, bringing the message of salvation to those who may have never heard it before.
The church launched a van ministry in early 2025 to expand its outreach efforts. Partnering with the Tulkork Adventist Church to use their van, the ministry began by visiting the provinces of Battambang and Takeo. 6 scholarship students actively participated in this initiative, dedicating their time and energy to making the ministry a success. Their mission was clear: to serve, inspire, and share Christ's love through meaningful activities. The students actively participated in church programs, visited individuals in need, and brought joy and hope through heartfelt songs, moving testimonies, and messages from the Word of God. Looking ahead, the Adventist Church in Cambodia plans to expand the van ministry by engaging more staff to promote deeper connections and provide meaningful service to the community.
May the example of the Cambodian church inspire us to fulfill Christ's mission by sharing the gospel in innovative ways. With a bit of creativity, we can make a meaningful impact. Renato, an Adventist volunteer from Brazil, expected to serve in remote rural areas when he answered God's call to mission work. Instead, he found himself in the bustling city of Bangkok, Thailand. This unexpected assignment challenged his expectations, but opened his eyes to the unique opportunities of urban mission work. Here's how Renato is making a difference in one of the world's busiest cities.
When Renato was called to be an Adventist volunteer, he imagined serving in remote, exotic locations, such as those he heard about in mission stories as a kid. He was surprised when God sent him to a city instead. Thailand is far from his home country of Brazil, and Renato quickly learned about the mission needs in big cities such as Bangkok.
In the very beginning, I got a little bit disappointed because that was not the idea I had of working the 1040 window. I thought I would be teaching in a bamboo school in the forest, in the jungles, but I realized that challenges are everywhere and they are so intense. It is hard to serve as a missionary anywhere.
Working in cities such as Bangkok can be difficult. People are often busy, isolated, and seemingly in need of nothing.
Their lives are good the way it is. They're healthy, they have beautiful families. There are many wealthy people here in Thailand. Why do they need Jesus? That's the question. Why do I need something else if I have everything a successful human being can have? And we know that a life without Jesus is a meaningless life.
Despite the challenges, Renato has made it his mission to foster positive connections with the people around him.
The volunteer is not just about suffering and dealing with challenges and difficulties. Somehow, even if we don't deserve, God promotes hundreds of opportunities for us to enjoy life and be happy.
Renato's primary role as a volunteer is teaching grade 4 English at Ekamai International School. Teaching has allowed him to bond with his students and learn about their lives.
95% of the kids in my school are non-Christian. So worshiping in the morning for us is really important. From 7 to 7:20 a.m. we have the worship session, and that's my favorite moment of the day.
After class, Renato is involved with other ministries, such as visiting people in prison and gathering resources to support refugees. Renato's experiences as an Adventist Volunteer Service, or AVS worker, have impacted him in a way that will remain with him for the rest of his life.
I'm pretty sure that nobody that goes to any country to serve as an AVS will come back home the same way they got into this. It's a life-changing opportunity, and by the grace of God, the work here in the missionary field has changed my life in a very good way.
As we refocus our attention to mission in the cities, please pray for workers such as Renato, who share the light of Jesus with those around them.
Renato's experience reminds us that mission work is not defined by location, but by the people God calls us to serve. Whether in remote villages or major cities, the message of hope and healing in Jesus remains the same. With these stories, we conclude this week's episode of ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Did you know the Seventh-day Adventist Church has a YouTube channel where you can watch other amazing videos? Just go to YouTube and search for the Adventist Church. Make sure you click the subscribe button so you never miss a new video. Leave a comment or a prayer request. We have a team dedicated to praying for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Before we say goodbye, we'll leave you with some good news from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. The text says, But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And remember, you can always visit Adventist.news for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.